How to have disciplined focus when everything in the world is changing. In this video, you will hear the simple solutions for how to get things done without getting distracted anymore. We know that willpower is a muscle, and if you strengthen and train it, it will get stronger. But motivation only provides limited amount of willpower, right? And then when it runs out, what do we need to do? We need to find some more, or we need to have a trigger that's going to cause us to do something else. And if we don't have an environment that's conditioned so that we take action, then we won't move forward. And if the triggers aren't apparent in your environment, you will get distracted and procrastinate. In this book, Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about you being the designer of your environment versus the victim. Because if you're a victim, then what you do is you blame, deny, cry, hide. That's being caught in the victim loop. And there's an intention loop, and the intention loop is quite different. The intention loop is the opposite. That's where we take responsibility, we take action, we have a different perspective on things, we try different things. That's where we're intentionally looking for a solution. If you remember in my previous video, and I'll put it in the link below, it's all about seeking solutions. If you're not seeking and finding solutions to your problems, then they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where you can't handle it. Then you will need a solution. You will have a problem that needs a solution, and you will not be able to get out of it unless you solve it. And it's just like any disease out there. If you have one, you know, or if you ever had one, you know that you needed to find a solution to it. You needed to find the solution to your pain, because you want to go from pain to power. If you don't have power, then you have pain. And if you have pain, it doesn't feel good. And procrastination becomes a pain. Why? Because if you procrastinate long enough and you compound and multiply that over and over and over again, guess what? You don't feel so good. And when you don't feel so good, those are thoughts moving through your body, causing you to feel negative. Then you feel down. You feel depressed. You feel immobilized. You feel paralyzed. You don't want to do anything. You don't take action. So the key here is to set up your environment so that you have triggers that keep you going. And it might be something as simple as having a picture on the wall of your family or of your child. That's your motivator. Your motivator might be that you want to be the greatest parent there ever was. You want to be at your highest and best, and you want to provide them the kind of lifestyle that you thought that you should have had. And so that is your motivator. Now, Nir Awal says that if you don't have disciplined focus, then we need to learn to be indistractable. That's a term that he created. Indistractable. It's like indestructible and distraction all in one. And he came up with this term, indistractable, so that we can get our power back. Like I was saying, on one side, we have pain. The other side, we have power. And we can measure this. In fact, there's a great book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And that book talks about you moving from pain to power. And you can assess where you are physically, mentally, emotionally, in your business, in your life, where you are on the scale of pain to power. If you're in a lot of pain because you're not feeling good or your body doesn't feel good, then you don't have power. And unless you're doing something consistently and persistently and moving towards your power, then you will always be going uphill. You'll always be struggling, and it will feel horrible. And you know it. And you know it every single time that you go up against your own nature. And that's what you're going against here, by the way. Willpower is one of our mental faculties. You know, we have 6 mental faculties, but we're going up against that. It's our human nature. Why? Because we are reward-seeking organisms. We are reward-seeking beings. And Atomic Habits talks about that, and it talks about how we need to find things that can give us the kind of rewards that are going to cause us to feel good. And that way we don't have to rely on our willpower. It is a muscle. It can be strengthened, but it's really, really, really tough. I mean, it's like climbing Everest. Would you just climb Everest? Or would you hire somebody to help you? Would you go out and find a Sherpa who's done this before and get them to help you climb Everest? Because if you don't, you might die. And that's pretty risky. So what do? You find somebody who's done this before and who has carved the path before you. And there's plenty of people around in the world that have done these kinds of things. They have tried their willpower. They have attempted things that haven't worked, and we can learn from them. So let's not do what they did. Let's do what works, and let's find the path of least obstacles, the least resistance, because when we do, then we can move forward and get things done. So your motivation is based on your willpower, but also it's based on what's in your heart, what matters to you. Because when you know what you want, what your purpose is, what your meaning in life is, and you move towards that, and you would rather do this than sleep, then you know that you're on the right path. And, when you're indistractable, then you're getting things done, right? You get things done. You learn new skills. You achieve your goals. You're more efficient. Those are the kinds of things that happen when you're indistractable, when you have this focus and you're getting things done, and you can feel the movement. You can feel the progress. You can see the progress. And especially if you feel proud. When you feel proud, you know that you're making progress. You know that you're moving in the right direction, because that's your internal dialogue saying, I've done something good and I feel good about myself. I can pat myself on the back. I don't need somebody else to do that for me. So if you strengthen your discipline instead of wasting your time and energy on willpower battles, then you'll get stronger. You won't go to war with yourself. I mean, think about it. Determined discipline is way better than trying to use your will. Your willpower has a limited supply. You start off with a full tank every day, and then by the end of the day, you've run out and you want to rest. You want to have some food, and you want to perhaps take in an audiobook or a show or something like that, and then calm down and maybe have a warm tea and then go to bed. So then you can replenish your willpower. But it does run out every single day and every week and every month and every year. And we know it. By the end of the year, most people are pretty depressed, because that's when they start reflecting on the year, because everybody's asking them, how did this year go for you? And if you don't have something positive to say, then you're going to lack the confidence, and you're not going to feel good about it. And so every year, at the end of the year, you look back, you start writing your accomplishments for the year. And if you don't have that many that you feel proud about, then you're going to feel defeated. And if you feel defeated, you might be paralyzed, and you might not start off your year very strong. So this happens, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, and even every quarter, perhaps, if you're measuring your performance there, and every year. Definitely every year, if you talk to anybody who asks you, how did the year go? What was this year like for you? And, how are you feeling about it? And what are you regretting? If they ask you that question, you could probably come up with a whole stack of things that you regret. So like I said, your willpower is limited. It is a mental faculty, and it can be strengthened, and you can use it to your benefit. You can maximize it, but it's not completely reliable. It's not something that you can rely on wholeheartedly. Why? Because it's not going to keep you motivated. You need to have your environment set up so that it has things that motivate you, that trigger you to get things done. As an example, perhaps you like to do a morning practice. Well, set up the conditions so that you can win. Play to win. So what do? If you have fitness equipment of some kind, set it up so that it's ready to go. Set it up so that it's set for you. If it's a bike, the seat's in the right position, the handlebars in the right position, and so on. Everything is ready to go. If you have shoes that you can clip in, have them clipped in, ready to go. That makes it easy. There's little or no resistance there. And have the gear that you need to get going. You'll likely want to have some water before or during while you're working out. So have that ready. Have it ready and have your gear, have everything, whatever you're wearing. If you're cycling, it's perhaps cycling shorts and a shirt, and you have headphones and a phone or some sort of device for playing music. Have that all ready. Set it all up. Then there's less excuses in the way. And there's all these triggers. So as an example, if you have morning practice, you might decide, like I do, to have your cycling shorts and your shirt and your socks all hanging on a hook on your bathroom door, so that when you go into the bathroom in the morning, you automatically look at it, you see it, you put it on. It's automatic. And if it's not something that is very colorful, go ahead and pick a red shirt or something like that. Pick something that's very colorful so it's noticeable. And then it's going to trigger you. You're going to put it on. Then you put it on. Now that you have the gear on, you're going to go to the next step. You're going to get on the equipment. Once you get on the equipment, turn on your music. Decide what you're going to do. Perhaps you might do something called Tabata, which is interval training. So it's only 4 minutes of interval training. And if you want to do that, then you might find an app that has music that is 4 minutes long, or you might pick a song that's 4 minutes long, have it ready, and go. All these little triggers are going to motivate you to get it done. And it's so easy. There might be some days where you just don't feel like it, or you don't feel up to it, but what do? You get on the bike anyway, and you still go through the motions. And you may not have a lot of resistance or a lot of tension turned on, but you still do it, and you get it done, and you feel good about it. You can check it off your list. You can say, I did it. You know, I was once at a Ritz-Carlton in Jamaica, and the general manager there said to me that he did his workout, and I was asking him how his day went, and he did his workout that morning, but he said that all that he did was go into the gym, get on the treadmill for a couple minutes, walk, get off, change, and leave. But that's not what he typically does. He usually goes in and does a 30-minute workout. But that day, what did he do? He just reenacted what he typically does, so his mind knew that he was in the gym, knew that he was there, and he did something. What a great way to think about things. Instead of saying, no, I'm not up to it and not doing it all, just do what you can do. And then you've checked it off, you've done it, you've fulfilled your commitment, and it may not have been at your full capacity, or it may have been, maybe you weren't feeling well, so you did it at whatever capacity you could, and you accomplished it. And instead of trying to rely on your willpower to push through the rest of your day, you just held on to your energy, and you did something else that was more aligned with what you needed to do, and you didn't have to push yourself and use more willpower. So these are the kinds of things that you can do. And if you want to watch another video on willpower, check it out. It's going to be right here. Just click that button. You can watch it and learn how to strengthen your willpower and get stronger every day. So click on the video and watch it now and strengthen your willpower. But also remember, become indistractable. You've got this, and I've got your back.